Okay, so the most important part is to do in the beginning that you have to change what you're given in mass into moles. So I'll just write that down. Okay, so you should know this formula as moles is mass over molar mass. And I just calculated before that the molar mass of CO is 28.01 grams per mole. At this point, we could just like split the page in half to work with each of the two reactants. So at the same time, you can calculate the molar mass for H2, and it's 2.02 grams per mole. So it's important here that you don't get confused because that there's a coefficient of 2. Doesn't mean that you have to multiply 1.01 by 4 because of 2 over here and 2 over here. The coefficient doesn't matter at this point. It's just the actual chemical name for it, whatever, H2, because it's diatomic. Anyways. So then you would just calculate the moles of each. Okay, I'll just finish with one side and then do the other side so you don't get confused. Okay, so now that you changed both things to moles, this is just like what you always have to do. You can't really work with the mass in the beginning. You have to change it to moles. And like while you're doing the test, don't get confused because now that you have two values, you just compare it. You're like, okay, this one's smaller, and then you just continue. But you can't do that. And now with the moles, you have to change it into moles of product because right now these are both in moles of reactants. So you pretend like the other one isn't there and just continue working on the one side. Okay, the next part is where we put the moles versus the coefficients. And this is where the coefficients actually come in, not in the calculations for the moles. So I'll just write that down, moles versus coefficients. And you should know how to cross multiply for this, but if you don't, just like watch a YouTube video. It's not that bad. Yeah, okay, so the equation doesn't matter if it's products over reactants or reactants over products, because with cross multiplication, it just ends up being the same answer either way. So I'm just gonna do reactants over products because I just feel like it. So it's gonna be an unknown amount of CO moles over unknown amount of CH3OH moles equals the coefficients of both these things over each other as well. So CO and CH3OH. And just make sure that no matter which one you put on top, reactants or products, just that both of these two are the same thing. So you have reactants over products, products over reactants. Whatever you choose, just be consistent with it in the question. Anyways, so we already found out how many moles of CO there are. So that just gets substituted into here. And remember, we're just doing the CO side right now, and we'll get to the H2 part after. Okay, so right now I have to put in the coefficients. I'll just bring the question back. In this one, there's a coefficient of 1 on CO and a coefficient of 1 on the products. So it just becomes 1 over 1. And as we learned before, that if it's just 1 over 1, then it's the products equals reactants. Because for something to equal 1, the numerator and denominator have to be the same thing. So since this side equals 1, you know that the denominator has to equal the numerator. So that means that 0.34988 moles of CH3OH exists in this side of it.